Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Stable Podcast. This is episode 33. My name's Josh, and I'm just going to do a quick review of some of my thoughts and opinions of AEW Dynasty 2025. From reports and so forth online, it looks like it's going to have well over 100,000 buys. It was well attended, close to 8,000 people, and a match card of somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 matches. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to utilize the Pro Wrestling Scorecards prediction game sheet and just going to go through. They don't have all the matches on here. They don't have the pre-show matches, which my understanding was there was a great six-man tag with Nick Wayne and the Crew versus Top Flight and AR Fox. Heard that was very good, but I didn't actually get a chance to watch all of that one. So this is not in the order of the event. Frankly, I don't remember the order of the event. That's okay. You can make sure you check it out on replays. It's available on Amazon Prime, YouTube, Triller. And eventually will make its way to the Max subscription service. So let's start at the top on this list here. They did open with an Owen Hart quarterfinal match of Will Ospreay versus the newly signed wrestler Kevin Knight out of New Japan. A great high flyer match. Many things to be really happy about for Kevin Knight and his pay-per-view debut for All Elite Wrestling. Will Ospreay did come out on top on this one. Will is, in my opinion, this is his tournament to lose, and I really look forward to seeing what he does throughout this tournament and hopefully getting to the finals. And my current prediction is the winner for this year's Owen Hart Cup, because the winners are going to go on to get world title matches at AEW All In Texas. So really looking forward to that. Will Ospreay, of course, my wife's personal favorite wrestler in AEW at this time. Really look forward to see what he has coming next. Next on this prediction sheet, we have a trios title match of the Death Riders made up of Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac, taking on Rated FTR of Cope and Cash and Dax. So this one was very much a, frankly, I was able to predict pretty much exactly what was going to happen. Almost everybody was expecting the similar thing, and with the Death Riders clearly being the better team, well-oiled, just a ready-to-go machine, ultimately defeating Rated FTR. But Rated FTR looked good. Cope is, for his age, I'm still surprised at how well he's able to go and keep doing what he does in the ring. And FTR is probably the top three easily best tag teams in the world right now. After the match was over with, Cope and Cash went to help Dax up after he took the loss. And as everybody was raising hands or whatnot, Dax went and hit a pile driver on Cope. This was the heel turn I think a lot of us were expecting. Cash, of course, was like, "What are you doing?" Dax gets out of the ring, goes, grabs a couple chairs. He's going to hand one to Cash. Cash shoves Dax, only for then Cash to set up, and then they did the Big Rig or the Shatter Machine, depending on what time you've joined in FTR's career. So just another fantastic match. Great heel turn that ended with a couple of concertos and a spike pile driver on the chair. Cope's probably going to take some time off, but now who's he going to get to help him? I don't know. Personal prediction is he's going to finally tie things up with Christian Cage, and we're going to get that reunion. Since Christian may be on the outs with the patriarchy, since Nick Wayne seems to be stepping to his own new level from there. Next on the sheet, we have the Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho versus Bandito, who is putting his mask on the line in his third attempt, I believe, to try and come after the championship from Jericho, or at least third match with Jericho. Chris Jericho has no right to be as good as he is at this age. And I know a lot of people have their opinions about Chris Jericho, but I personally think he's great in this role. He's there for building up new characters. He did have the Ring of Honor World Championship because you got to have somebody to chase, especially when you're building a face. And Bandito, former Ring of Honor World Champion, showed out, really looked good here. They did do the false finish where Jericho hit Bandito with a bat while Brian Keith did the distraction. And he did get the 1, 2, 3, but apparently the parents, Bandito and Gravity's mom and sister were at ringside, convinced Aubrey Plaza, I believe it was, to check the evidence. She found the bat. They restarted the match, and Bandito was able to hit his finisher and get the win and become the new Ring of Honor World Champion. A lot of frustration, particularly on Deb's side from this point, because we didn't know the family had the rights to get referees to change their mind. I thought it was a creative finish, but on the same note, it's kind of it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm happy for Bandito. Definitely give, so far, these 3 matches definitely thumbs up from my side, for sure. Let's see. Next we have on here the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm, your champion, taking on challenger Megan Bayne, the Megasis that she is, coming down from her mountain, apparently being a god from the heavens. What a great match for Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne is going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure, but her youth and inexperience showed out here when Toni Storm was able to roll her up with, as our friend Simon Miller would say, the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, the surprise roll up. But she never could get the Storm Zero off. I think she did get 3 of her hip attacks off, and it wasn't enough to keep Megan down. But a roll up, the leverage pin, as Don would say, got the win. And it was just a great way to retain the championship. Toni Storm is probably the best women's wrestler across the planet right now. Great character work. Really doing well in the ring, and her promo is just amazing. Next up, we've got our AEW World Tag Team Championship match, pitting the Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin up against the Learning Trees, Big Bill and Brian Keith. Boy, what a good match here. But it was also probably the one I would give a thumbs down to, because as much as I really like Big Bill, I think Big Bill's off to just looks great in AEW, and personally I think would be a better singles wrestler than a tag team wrestler. I could see him running around the TNT Championship or even the International Championship, or possibly down in Ring of Honor dealing with that television championship down there. I think that would work out as well. Brian Keith is good. I like Brian Keith where he's at. He's learning a lot from Chris Jericho. But in this match, Bobby and Shelton were the better team, generally speaking, until near the end when Big Bill was finally starting to get some momentum and was getting ready to take these guys out. But right as he was about ready to kind of finish things off, he got out on the outside only to get clocked by the Dynamite Diamond Ring from Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who is trying to weasel his way into the Hurt Syndicate with hopes that they'll get him a world title match. Very interesting way to do that, but by taking out Big Bill, that left Brian Keith on his own for the Hurt Syndicate to hit with their finishing combination, Bobby Lashley's spear, and Shelton to get the 1-2-3. You're still your AEW Tag Team Champions. Thoroughly enjoyed this match. Like, I'm not gonna say that I didn't like it, but it was also the MJF Hurt Syndicate storyline doesn't make a lot of sense to me yet. They've said no. Is he really going to try and weasel his way in there? Or maybe there was a reference even on this most recent Dynamite of the pinnacle of something related to Cash and Dax. Maybe we're going to see a rejoining of the pinnacle with MJF and FTR. Wouldn't have any problem with that, though. Sean Spears is over in NXT right now, and who knows what's going on with Wardlow. I'm hoping he's healing up and we see him soon. See, next on my card, I've got an Owen Hart quarterfinal for the women's division of Mercedes Moné taking on Julia Hart. Julia Hart, the young and upcoming star, our former TBS champion as well, getting a shot at Mercedes Moné. A very good match, but not to the caliber that Tony and Megan put on earlier. Nobody actually thought Julia was going to beat Mercedes, so they did have a couple of close calls here. I think we're going to be gearing up for the semifinals, which we'll find out on Collision soon, of Mercedes versus Athena. Now, I don't know if we're also going to do Mercedes and Athena at All In, or if we're just going to do it in the semifinals. I just don't see Harley Cameron beating Athena in the Owen Hart quarterfinal. But tonight, or during the pay-per-view, we did see Mercedes Moné defeat Julia Hart in a very good match. Julia looks so good and is constantly getting better. Her and the Hounds of Hell, great stable. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but it wasn't my favorite of the women's matches. Definitely Tony and Megan took that one. Let's see. And now we got our final 3 title matches for the evening. I will say they did put in here another quarterfinal match of Kyle Fletcher taking on Mark Briscoe. And Kyle Fletcher is a star in the making. Mark Briscoe is like the face of faces, where whether he's a champion or not, fans are going to love him. Redneck Kung Fu is just great. And he's a good person to lose to Kyle Fletcher in this tournament. Kyle Fletcher is the protostar and is ready for his next rocket. You know, we'll see what happens there. Maybe we will get another Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay match. I don't remember if they're on the same side of the bracket or if they're going to possibly meet in the finals. And if they do what they did last year, which, no, that was Continental Classic. They're not going to do that with Owen. So we'll see. But Kyle Fletcher gets the win here. Definite thumbs up. Such a great heel. Good looking, good performer. Super excited to see what else they do with Kyle Fletcher. Let's see. Next we have, as I said, our 3 title matches. One I was super excited about is our TNT Championship of Daniel Garcia taking on Adam Cole. Adam Cole has already faced Daniel twice. Once ended in a no contest, once ended in a time limit draw. So they made the decision that this match would have no interference, no time limit. They must be a winner. And Adam Cole, baby, finally came out on top and got the TNT Championship. I know that Daniel Garcia is a big future player here in AEW, and the TNT Championship run might have been weak, but it was good for him to get back and get his championship and kind of put some legitimacy on him, as now he's got his work his way back up. But Adam Cole needed a win. I've been saying this for quite a while. After the 2 years of hard struggles, he tried to do that storyline that was doing really well, only for him to break his foot with MJF and World's End and the whole Devil storyline. He's finally put MJF behind him. They now have taken the Undisputed Kingdom, which I hope Mike Bennett and Matt Taven are all right. The Kingdom continues on, however that is. But now Adam, Kyle, and Roderick are the Paragon, and I look forward to going with that. But Adam Cole, thumbs up, TNT champion. Such a great dude to meet also. Absolutely deserving of this championship run. Let's see. What else we got? We got... probably the most looked forward to match of the evening, the AEW International Championship match of Kenny Omega versus Ricochet versus Mike Bailey, both winning the chance in the tournament they did on the television shows, and it was a double pin, I believe. They both got the victory, so they made it into a triple threat match. Mike Bailey, newly signed to AEW, Canadian martial artist, just looked fantastic here. He actually pulled off the crane kick from the Karate Kid during the match. Absolutely unbelievable. And then Ricochet has just completely revitalized his career. And to get an opportunity at this championship facing off against the best bout machine, Kenny Omega, the top star in AEW right now, and probably top 3 pro wrestlers, like as an overall package in the entire world right now, looked absolutely fantastic. The match ended where they were kind of all stacked up in the upper left corner, and Kenny Omega managed to get, I believe it was Ricochet, up on his shoulders in the middle rope, while Mike Bailey ended up getting hung up in the Tree of Woe, and then he hit a middle rope one-winged angel on Ricochet to get the 3 count and retain the championship. Absolutely amazing. Definite thumbs up. Only for us to then get another glimpse of what I believe is going to be one of your other main event matches at All in Texas, as Kazuchika Okada comes out, the Continental Champion, to kind of have a face-off with Kenny, but Kenny wanted nothing of it. So I suspect that they're gearing up towards a possible title unification match for their 5th but first in AEW match. I look forward to that, and they're going to continue to tease that, especially after we find out what happens in our main event. So definite thumbs up for the International Championship. Finally, for our main event, we have Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion and leader of the Death Riders, taking on Swerve Strickland. Probably the most over babyface, outside of maybe Will and Kenny, but definitely in that top 5. Just a guy you build your company on for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was hard-hitting. It was story-driven, drama-filled. Jon Moxley, I know that my wife and I both have commented on this in the past. We still have no idea exactly what he wants to accomplish with the Death Riders. The whole statement of AEW isn't what it used to be. Neither is he. I mean, he used to be an alcoholic and not a dad. Now he's a dad and not an alcoholic. I mean, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but you're not the same, and neither is AEW. But what he is a fantastic heel, and the crowd loves to boo him, and he's hard-hitting, and he represents that championship as a heel probably should. I just kind of wish I had a better idea of why. In the end, Swerve had Moxley down, had him hit the Swerve stomp. The lights come out, only for the lights to come up, and there stand Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. The Young Bucks are EVPs with a EVP trigger lined up on Swerve and hit him as the ref has, of course, been knocked out. Our absolute favorite trope on the stable. Nope. But anyways, the ref manages to get back in the ring as Jon Moxley gets the 1, 2, 3. And there we are, kind of left stunned. Moxley leaves with a world championship, apparently not knowing what the Young Bucks were doing there. And Swerve is down once again. I am going to give the match a thumbs up, but even after Dynamite has already occurred this week, the explanation from the Young Bucks, giving it down, because as all for I am the extension of the Elite storyline, which has been one of the longest running storylines in AEW, it doesn't make a lot of sense doing it for Hangman. Now, if Hangman is maybe the goal for Hangman is in the Owen, so he might win the Owen Hart tournament, and he might be the one to go to get Moxley, but he's got to deal with the wild card first. I will give them credit. AEW has, for the most part, been really good, so we're going to let this play out. We'll see what happens from there. As a general, overall, I definitely give this a thumbs up. Was it the best pay-per-view I've seen from them? No, I actually think that the previous pay-per-view, which would have been Revolution, I thought was a better pay-per-view kind of all around. But this is very enjoyable, and it's a good stepping stone on its way to Double or Nothing in Arizona. So, with that, that's episode 33. I will also be posting episode 34 very shortly, talking about some of our favorite moments we're looking forward to for WrestleMania 41 coming up in Las Vegas over Easter weekend. So make sure you check us out, theestablishedfacts.com or YouTube. You'll find us on there as well. You can find us on different social media accounts as well. And you know what? As Don would say, we will catch you later.